Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Your weekly go-to, all things automotive place. Coming up this segment, Konrad has the car clinic. We'll talk with the president. No.
The president?
No, we're not going to talk to the president.
He talk to the vice president.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't
he
make
is.
sense. He doesn't know. You notice he has to wear Velcro shoes.
Because he can't tie laces?
That's right.
Simone Biles.
No. Let's go. I'd rather talk about cars.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Konrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zeke, and Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us. Let's switch gears and talk about C10 trucks, shall we? It's the head of the C10 SoulTexas, or should I say SoulTexas Truck Club, Brandon Emmons. Brandon, how are you, brother?
Too young to know.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Do you know what that's in reference to? The Soul.
I have no idea.
No, I told you. There used to be a television show on called The Soul Train, and it was a dance show that aired on Saturday mornings. You'll have to look that up when we get off the
Go
air.
to YouTube.
Yeah. And
Go to September of 1967, and Don was in there dancing.
he had white shoes and a white belt.
I did have that. Brandon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing pretty good. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time this morning. The C10 SoulTexas Club. You know, I don't care where you are. I want to be a member of your club just because of the name.
Yep.
You like that, huh?
I do. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, I came up with it myself. That's pretty snazzy, huh?
I think, yeah, I truly agree. Yeah, it is. So tell us about the C10 SoulTexas Truck Club.
Well, we basically are just C10 trucks, but we kind of we started out with C10 Club Texas, and then we started our own thing, and then we pretty much just started doing benefits, and we do the biggest toy drive in our area, and we just kind of helping the community out. We use it. It's actually a clothing line as well, and we use that to donate to get people to the events and stuff. And then we usually just do good causes, and it kind of keeps the car scene alive in our area. We had a bunch of little groups, and then we kind of got everybody together so we've had actually probably our biggest toy drive. We had 500 vehicles at our toy drive.
Wow.
Park.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so everybody that is watching our show right now, so they'll understand, what is a C10?
Well, it depends on who you ask, but it's a Chevrolet truck. Some go back to 55, but we pretty much start at 60 and then stop at around 87. You got 60 to 66, and you got 67 to 72, and then you got the round eyes, and then all the way up to a square body, which ended in 87.
So I happen to have a picture of his truck
Oh.
that I'm going to share up here on the screen. Give me just a second here, and
Okay.
I'll get that up there.
But it's basically just a generation of Chevrolet trucks. Right. Do you also include the GMCs as well?
Correct. Any GM product.
Nice, yes. The traditional older model Chevrolet or GMC pickup truck.
And this is before they started calling them Silverados.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is when the name of this was a C10.
Did they ever have a C1500?
There was a C15 and a C20 and a C30.
Okay.
But I think wasn't it the C15 was the GMC version, wasn't it? Chevy
Correct.
was C10,
Like,
GMC was C15.
Right. Then the C20s and C30s are just bigger trucks, kind of like your 2500 or 3500.
More
More
Right.
commercial side, yeah.
I never understood how they did this naming nomenclature of 10s and 15s.
I still don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I know that today a 1500 would be a half ton.
Right.
Well, think of how much money they save by putting C10 on the side as opposed to spelling out Silverado.
Yeah.
You know, it saves.
Well, you know, actually, the square bodies are R's, and then, of course, the four-wheel drives were K's, like,
right.
you know, the Blazers, K5, K10 or whatever. But I guess in the truck world, everybody just goes with C10. It's easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And then, but also back then was when you would have seen the Cheyenne.
Yes.
And what were some of the other body style names besides the Cheyenne?
Yeah, they had like a Super Cheyenne, a CST, which is a custom. Had all kinds of. There's actually nowadays, that's the new thing. People are trying to find these rare trucks or it's kind of funny, when I was younger, I didn't like green or yellow or anything like that. People are finding these rare versions of these trucks that kind of people had customed out, kind of like a equivalent to a Yinko or something, I guess you'd say.
Right.
But that's the new thing now is people are finding these trucks that nobody's ever even seen that have, weird stripes and weird colors and weird combos.
John Deere green.
Yeah.
John Deere.
Yeah.
Don't paint it.
Yeah.
How did you get into this trucking stuff?
Man, crazy story. My dad owned a body shop. I grew up in the business. I painted for 15 years till I got into the pipeline business, and I always built muscle cars and coupes. And I ended up getting rid of my coupe, and I built a 67 small glass. And it's just a different crowd. It doesn't matter if you got a $500 truck or a $200,000 truck. Everybody, they're willing to help. They treat you as an equal. It's kind of a good little brotherhood, So
Good network.
So,
yeah, I got into it, and I just kind of gave up on the muscle car scene and started building trucks on, for fun, and the rest is history.
Well, I'm
And
sure
it
that
kinda-
you're familiar with the Lone Star Throwdown, which we fortunately have been part of for a number of years now. And what a great event. And who was to ever think that trucking would have evolved into what it is today, especially with some of these $250,000 rigs that we see out there at Lone Star Throwdown.
Yeah. I actually interviewed with y'all guys live out there a couple of years ago when I had my purple truck.
I thought I recognized you. I think that I came and bailed you out of jail after that event, didn't I?
Well, yeah, probably so.
The pictures that Mike's showing, are those your vehicles or vehicles that you've customized?
That's my truck right there.
Okay.
That's
My
beautiful.
purple 60. I had a purple 67, and this is a 69 that I have now.
Now, you took this one to the C10 Nationals, didn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird story. I thought I was going to win, and I don't know if y'all know of a guy named Fletcher Cox. He's a football player, NFL football player, and a buddy of mine, Justin Curry, built a truck for him, and they debuted it out there, and he actually beat me. I took second. So,
Well, you need to break Justin's knees next time.
There you go.
well, you know what? I told him when we went to get the awards, everybody was sitting there, and they said, if they judge this thing right, who do you think's going to win? I said, it's a toss-up between me and Justin. I said, but that truck's beautiful. His truck's blue. It's got independent rear suspension. It's supercharged. It's nice. And so when they called my name second, I said, if he don't win, I'm going to be a mad dude. But, yeah, I talked to him. I said, man, hey, congrats, because it's a beautiful truck they built,
And then you unfriended him.
No, he's a good guy. He's a race car guy. He's out of Houston.
So where are you based out of?
I'm out of Port Neches, Texas, which is roughly 20 minutes southeast of Beaumont, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
He's across the street from me.
Oh,
yeah,
so your neighbors.
Mars is from Neaterville.
Yeah.
Well, I won't hold that against you, Mars.
Well,
I think there's a little bit of a football rivalry over there somewhere.
yeah. Coming up on 100 years, 101 years, something like that.
He
Yeah.
can't go down there. He's still got warrants.
I can't cross that side of the street.
Yep.
So what is your daily driver?
Man, I actually have a I have a 3/4 ton Chevrolet. It's a Duramax.
So you got a late model.
Yeah, well, it's a 2018 model. It's not super new.
Yeah. Have you got it lowered, or did you do anything to it, or is this just the one that you go and get parts for your expensive trucks?
It's on an 8-inch lift. It's got 35s, 37s on it.
Of course it does. Yeah. Have you zoomed up that diesel motor?
Well, man, I can't. It depends on you. Are talking about Biden and all that beforehand, so I don't know what I can say and not say. I don't want to.
Well,
don't attract any attention you don't want.
Yeah, well, just go ahead and let it all hang out because we don't know your license plate number. It's all right.
I mean, obviously, I prefer a little horsepower, so it's deleted and all.
Okay, got it.
Which is different out in Port Neches than
Yes,
it is
it
in
is.
Houston
Yes.
because they have different guidelines and rules over there.
Absolutely.
True. Right.
But yeah, and I'm sure that Duramax does a good job of pulling his show trucks. So
Yeah, it does pretty good. It's I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. Them Fords pull pretty good too, but it'd be difficult pulling my truck to a show with a Ford. I'd look like a fool.
Well, I have to
that would
tell
look
you
weird.
that I went to I don't remember whether it was a Chevy or Ford event. This was several years ago, and they were touting the capability of the diesel. And they had a drag situation set up where, the trucks put them side by side.
Oh, yeah.
Drag. I think you were there.
Is that the one in San Antonio?
No, it was outside of San Antonio. And at any rate, so they lined them up, Ford versus Chevy. I mean, you can't get any bigger rivalry than that.
Yeah.
And, of course, nail the throttle. Everybody's nailing the throttle. Well, the other vehicle pulled ahead and blah, blah, blah. So one of the smartasses that showed up at that event said, don't floor the one that winds up being second all the time. Don't floor it. Ease into it. If you floor it, it goes into a different mode. And if you just ease into the accelerator pedal,
Stays in the power.
It stays in the power all the way, and it wound up beating the other truck.
Oh, gosh.
And guess what? That was the end of the drag racing for that event. Yeah.
Because Don can't follow the rules. They told him to floor it, and he didn't. He says, let me show you.
Hold my beer.
But what's the next plan for your next C10? Are you looking for one of those unique pieces? Because I know, to me, one of the unique pieces of that generation C10 of your 69, because I know they made some big blocks, some 396s of that engine as well, of that chassis, and I know those are probably much more rare to find than anything else.
Well, it's crazy stories. My grandmother was a Sinclair, and so I'm actually looking for a green round eye, which, 73 to 78-ish, that we can turn into a service truck. And I want to build like a service truck for my dad to cruise with all the Sinclair stuff on the side, like old service station truck.
Yeah.
That's my next project, yeah. But I'm currently looking for one. It's just hard to find the green I want. I found a few, but they've been repainted. So it's difficult finding a green truck.
Well, the other thing that you guys run up against that us car guys don't necessarily run up against very often anyway, is the fact that trucks used to be used for heavy-duty work.
Yeah.
And especially in that generation.
Beat up.
If you had a 396 in a half-ton pickup truck, that thing has probably been worn completely out, every aspect of it. Doesn't have a straight piece of sheet metal on it because it was used to tow stuff. It was used.
You throw stuff in it. Who cared what it did to the side rails?
Trucks weren't what they are today, what they've become.
But they are metal.
They are, yes, they are.
They are metal.
Yeah, and I'll never forget those big blocks that used to. At the Chevrolet store that I worked at, they had a separate truck department packed all the time, and they did, engine change-outs, all the heavy-duty stuff that you could imagine. And they had this thing with these big block Chevy motors that come in there completely worn out, and the guy would pull the motor, he'd, pull all the engine completely apart, hone the cylinder walls, put new rings in there, new bearings, everything that you could do. That thing would drive out of there like a brand new truck, and on it would go another 200,000 miles.
Well, and then whenever we were back over there in his neighborhood, you went looking for those truck blocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because they were the 4-bolt mains and stuff that were hard to get.
Absolutely.
So you were looking for that engine that was worn out so you could put it in your street car.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so that makes it even more rare to find something like that still running today.
So if somebody has a green round eye that you're looking for as a Sinclair vehicle, and they have the Dino chained to the back of it, how can they contact you?
Man, I'm on Instagram at C10SoulTexas.
Well, you know what? Sweet Ride says John Deere green available.
Yeah.
We probably won't do John Deere, but anything but.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we don't need John
I'm laughing
Deere
at y'all. I'm listening to you guys. See, I'm an old guy. I'm an old school hot rodder. I'm only 46, but I built my first motor out of, people laugh at me, but a hot rod magazine. They used to go step by step, so I built my first small block. Y'all are over here talking about 396s and small blocks, big blocks. I haven't built a 23-degree motor in years. We went to LS, and y'all are almost foreign language to me now because everything's LS.
Yeah.
What's a carburetor?
Yeah. Distributors, points, and
tub it out.
Stuff,
What's funny is these little youngsters around here. We've got probably 4 or 5 kids that they try real hard, and they don't know a lot. So we've got a group text, and we'll send them all this info. But they'll call with some funny stuff about a carburetor, distributor, or whatever, and they don't have a clue. And you pretty much walk them through on the telephone. Hey, man, do this, do that. And they're like, man, how do you know all that? I'm like, man, times used to be really simple, man. It was before computers, you know?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, my
Yep.
friend, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we want to be a member of your club. Put us on the totem pole, will you?
Will do.
The C10 SoulTexas Truck, Brandon Emmons. Thank you again, and we'll stay in touch with us.
All right, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
You do the
Thanks.
same.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was fun.
Yeah. And he's got a cool looking truck too. Yeah,
Mr. Mars
kid.
wanted me to remind him that he needed about 15 or 20 seconds to talk about some guests that we've got coming up.
Next week, right here, David Vogel from the Houston Community College is going to join us.
Oh, good. Yeah.
They got a car show coming up. We're going to talk about their new automotive program that's been expanded. So we got a lot of stuff coming up with them. We're going to be talking to Rod Keller, the CEO of Aero. It's a company in Austin that's building electric trucks
Oh.
that we can buy. And he's right up there in Austin.
No relationship to the
No.
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 The Nikola.
No.
All right.
And then we're going to be talking to Gary Emmons is going to join us, and we're going to get his view on the pre-owned market and see how things are looking over there in that part of the world.
And drag racing.
And drag racing. I told him, I said, we may talk about drag racing just a little bit.
Is he gonna have the moving Wally?
He didn't say. He didn't say.
Moving Wallies.
Yeah.
Wallies.
Uh-huh.
That was hilarious.
So join us. We got some stuff coming up next week.
All right. We shall. Time now for by the way, I did want to remind everybody that we'd love to hear from you. Please shoot us an email if you ever want to get in touch with us. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. All right, time now for Konrad's Car Clinic. What is in the clinic today?
The last few weeks, we've been talking about different types of transmissions. We talked about CVT transmissions last week. We talked about DVT transmissions. For everybody out there, there's basically 5 types of automatic transmissions.
And here they
that
are.
out
Number
there.
1.
A torque converter automatic, what's called the slush box, which is what we're going to talk about today, the continuously variable transmission, a dual clutch transmission, an automated manual transmission, and the Koenigsegg Lightspeed transmission. We'll talk about that next week.
All right.
The inventor of the first automatic transmission was a Canadian. He invented it in 1921 and called it the automatic safety transmission. He designed it to shift with air pressure instead of hydraulic fluid.
Pneumatic.
Yeah, it was a pneumatic transmission. And, that created a huge lack of power. It did have 4 forward gears. It didn't have reverse, blah, 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 blah. General Motors bought the rights to that back then and started planning on producing a hydraulically shifted automatic transmission in 37, 38. Well, actually, they did come out with the first Oldsmobile produced the first automatic transmission in 1939. Hydraulically shifted automatic transmission.
Do you need to run over this before you get on the air with us?
I kind of shift my.
I got to be at work Monday. Is this a long
concentrate,
interview?
yeah.
It was called the hydromatic transmission. It was introduced in the 1940 model year. The next year, in 1941, Cadillac picked it up.
There you go.
Tripled the price of it as an option, and it was offered in a Cadillac. But remember, in 1941, the season ended early, and they moved on to World War II.
Right.
So Cadillac and Oldsmobile built automatic transmissions for the Sherman tank. So all of that transmission production went into the Sherman tanks for however many, the 4 or 5 years they were building that during World War II. The torque converter automatic transmission was also referred to as the slush box, or for conventional automatics, because they tend to sap some power from the engine. They're quite heavy. They transmit power through a fluid coupling, and they got to spin it up and get the fluid to move through these veins to transfer the power, and that's why they ended up shifting kind of late, and that's where the nickname slush box came from. They do stand out.
I used to call them that all the time.
Yeah.
I still do.
But they work real well in heavy-duty circumstances because the fluid can get the car moving on an incline, and it has a multiplying effect of the torque of the engine, which is why they call it a torque converter.
The Corvair had a slush box in it.
2-speed.
Yep.
So over time, the very early automatics were 4 speeds, and then they went to a 2-speed automatic in GM Palance. It was called a Power Glide. Jetaway, Slim Jim were some of the other brands that were out
Slushbox.
there.
Making me hungry.
And then they went to a 3-speed automatic, and the 3-speed automatics were generally 60s, 70s, early 90s, and then they started, 60s, 70s, and early 80s, and then in the 80s and 90s they moved to a 4-speed automatic with overdrive, and now they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-speed automatics. Some of them with 5 and 6.
Have you
overdrives.
seen the size of those transmissions?
huge.
They're
They're
huge.
huge. They're huge.
They're bigger than the motor.
They're huge.
But the way that they do that is creating an overdrive with a planetary gear set's real easy. So there's an outer ring, 2 or 3 inner moons kind of that are gears, and then a center drive. So now they are doing 3 and 4 planetary gear
Stacking
sets
them up
to create all of these gear ratios in it.
You talked about pneumatic. Now, don't like top fuel cars use pneumatic for their clutches?
No, they don't. Well, yes,
yeah,
they
for
do.
the clutches, but it's a 1-speed. There's no
It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1 from the start, and then they make the adjustment on the clutch
Through
application.
pneumatics.
So again, the fuel efficiency of a slush box torque converter automatic is about 5 out of 10. The drivability is 7 or 8 out of 10, and the reliability tends to be kind of 9 out of 10. But one of the key things to doing this is you have to change the fluid on a regular interval. If you don't change your automatic transmission fluid, your transmission's going to fail in a younger period of number of miles. My recommendation is change the fluid every 30,000 miles. Some people are going to go 35, 40, 50,000 miles. Some people never change their automatic transmission fluid, and then it breaks. So get out there, service and maintain your automatic transmission. Next week, we'll talk about the Koenigsegg Lightspeed transmission.
Oh, God, I can't
All right,
wait.
time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Many drivers rely on a car's in-dash fuel economy display to show the estimated number of miles the car gets per gallon of gasoline. Well, those estimates aren't always accurate, according to a Tuesday report from the American Automobile Association. And when it comes to shorter trips, miles to empty estimates varied greatly in tests conducted by AAA and the Automotive Research Center of the Automobile Club of Southern California. Variance also depends on factors affecting gas mileage, blah, blah, blah. AAA says drivers take an unnecessary risk if they overly rely on the displays. Plenty of drivers may already be doing that. About 74% of drivers use those miles to empty estimates to decide when to fill up their tanks, according to a AAA survey. The level of accuracy or inaccuracy varied widely vehicle to vehicle. In one case, the test vehicles display overestimated fuel economy by 6.4% or 2.2 miles per gallon. That's a lot. Another test vehicle display underestimated fuel economy by 2.8% or 0.9 miles per gallon. Each car exhibited a different reaction to driving changes in driving styles, and road conditions also influenced accuracy. So keep that in mind the next time you look at it. So
did you hear that Ford has created a fragrance that smells like gasoline?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
For all our all the EV customers here, you can smell gasoline in your car.
Instead of the
Tesla has agreed to pay $1.5 million to settle claims the software update temporarily reduced maximum battery voltage in 1,700 Model S sedans. Owners of the vehicles will get $625 each, which is many times the prorated value of the temporarily reduced maximum voltage, according to the proposed settlement documents filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in San Francisco. Tesla did not immediately respond to a request for comment. And the White House is negotiating to have automakers pledge that 40% or more of the vehicles they sell in the U.S. will be electric by the end of the decade, something the companies say will require the government to help promote the use of the cars. UAW spokesman Brian Rothenberg said the union is in discussions with the White House and automakers about a sales target, but he said an agreement has not been reached. General Motors also said no agreement has been reached. We've got more of the In Wheel Time Car Show after a quick break. We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Well, guess what? That's a wrap for another episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. We would certainly appreciate it. You'll get Konrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our marketing manager and video technical director is We Need More Jeffrey Zekin. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars, over there, King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our 3-hour live broadcast across a multitude of audio and video streaming platforms. Podcasts are available at your favorite podcast provider. Today's show was produced by Beaver Cleaver. We thank you so much for joining us. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Stay cool out there, and we'll see you next week.